The region that is usually considered to be the smartest in the Middle East is Persia or Iran. They are thought of as being the very smartest, maybe them and the Jews, of course. But that would be interesting if Iran is able to be brought back into the fold. And people are saying that that would kind of almost seal the deal to where they might have that shot. So that without Iran, it might be pretty hard for them to bounce ahead of China. But with Iran, they would be actually larger in terms of total of financial capabilities than all of Europe, if Iran is back.
Yeah. Europe is not even in contention. Europe's on the verge of going through the dark ages again.
Yeah, well,
I'm not joking. Look, China's pushing full throttle. India's pushing full throttle. Middle East is pushing full throttle. You have certain countries in South America that are trying to push full throttle. Obviously, the United States, in many ways, needs to get out of its own way.
Right.
But luckily, we are the United States, not one governing body that oversees everything. So, states have their kind of independence in many ways. So that allows us to stop becoming like Europe is, the EU. So everyone's pushing ahead except for Europe. And they're just, what new regulations can we put on? How can we slow this down? Well, let's immigrate everyone in here, open up our borders, not allow anyone to do anything, make it difficult to buy a house or have FSD. I mean, it's just, Europe's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And it's a shame because it's such a beautiful part of the world. But
yeah, for sure. Well, okay. So as we pointed out at the beginning of the show, there was a tremendous amount to cover today. What have I missed? Have I missed anything that you believe I should have brought up in the context of this very eventful week? Maybe for Tesla, a huge week, for the world, a huge week, for the United States, a huge week. Did I miss something?
I will say something that was interesting in all the interviews Elon did today. And even, I guess, how we ended Friday, where Elon posted or maybe it was Thursday, but he posted a screenshot of the Tesla stock price. Elon today used a lot of his argument was that, look at the valuation, we're over $1 trillion again. And he normally doesn't use the stock price or the valuation as a barometer or metric for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden he is. And maybe I'm reading into something because I want to, but it almost feels like there's a signal there saying, just look at the stock and it'll be fine. And it sounds like he knows things are about to happen. Things are going to come out. He has I would imagine, a pretty good feeling about what might happen once we launch robotaxis in Austin, right? I mean, I don't know, like, Randy, but before we hop off, like, what's your take on this? Is June a sell the news moment? I'm not saying like for people to actually do this, but in general, like, what do you think the market does? Do you think the market says, hey, they launched 10, 20 vehicles. Great. All right, let's all sell out of this because, we've run this up. Or do you think that's an accelerator? And I know what you got your price prediction. Put that to the side. Let's pin that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's I said this morning, so I'll be repeating myself. Actually, I've been saying it I think I've said it 5 times in the last 6 days.
Oh,
the launch of the Robotaxi is the largest single launch of a product or service in history. There's nothing that comes close in terms of the potential revenue and or profits. And Tesla is going to own that market, as Cathie Wood and others have said. It's not going to be a winner takes most. It's going to, it'll be winner take maybe 90%, according to Elon. Cathie only thinks it's 50%. But people are in there one after another, major folks talking about this being a $7 trillion, $9 trillion market. and the Tesla will get a big, huge piece of it. So that launch is happening on, you know, a couple of weeks from now. If somebody had come to you in, what would that be, 17 years ago, 2010, 29, whatever. No, yeah, 20, whatever it was, 20, I forget which year it was, and said, if Steve Jobs had gone on television and been interviewed and said, this product will be selling 1 billion units a year 4 years from now. But he did.
No one would believe him.
And nobody would believe him. But maybe some people would have, and they would have gone 4 billion a year. Oh my gosh, because it's Steve Jobs, I should do this. Well, we now have the most successful entrepreneur on the planet, maybe in a millennium, who is saying that this is a $7 trillion cap business. And then there's a 25 trillion cap business coming behind it. And the rollout of the first piece of this is in 2 to 3 weeks. For me, I can't believe the stock isn't at 3,000. It's inconceivable to me that smart people out there aren't piling into because you know, how do you play a stock? I don't know how you play a stock. I'm not saying I'm brilliant or better than anybody else. How do I play a stock? What are the odds of it going up to 3,000? What are the odds of it going back down to 220? You know,
there's a better odds it's 220, Randy.
Well, okay, but you know what I'm talking about. Even if the odds of it going to 3,000, I don't mean next week. I mean next year, the year after that. If the odds of it going to 3,000 are only 20%, and the odds of it going back to 220 are 40%, I still think it's a buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that answered my question, though. I'm not asking what you do. I'm asking what you think the market does.
I think the market. I think it continues to go up. I think
so you don't think the market sells the news. You think they buy it up.
I think they continue to buy. I think it'll be like a dripping faucet. It'll be like, what's going to happen next week? What's going to happen next week? How many will they put out the next week? How many? Oh, when will they open the second city? It'll be this constant thing. And then when will they do unsupervised? All that's going to be a constant catalyst draw.
I like it.